Hi guys, welcome back to Hearn Family Homestead. My name's Amanda, and it's been a while since I've given you a garden tour, so I thought I would do that this morning. And I got out here this morning, and there's actually been a storm last night, and you can see there's some damage. Some of our sunflowers toppled over, so I'll have to take care of that as well. But I'm excited to show you what we're harvesting and what we're still growing for fall, and all the varieties that we have planted. We've got a few tomatoes that are getting ripe, and then we also have some purple potted pole beans that are coming on. Our lettuce is going to seed. We're going to save some of that. I'll probably bag a few of the varieties. They say lettuce can cross. And then down here, this is called lovage, and I use it in place of celery in a lot of our soups. And it's a perennial, and it just keeps growing back after you cut it. But it's got a really strong celery flavor. There's our Swiss chard. It's ready to be harvested. And a few beans that we snuck in there last minute. And our kale. Some beets. And this is blue curled Scotch kale. The cucumbers have started taking off. They're overtaking the corn patch. Our corn didn't do the greatest. We did get a few ears off of it, but we weren't expecting much because we didn't plant a whole lot. But we have harvested some cucumbers. There's one right there that's hiding from us. That's gotten a little big. Ideally, you want to pick them when they're about that size. And this is Napa cabbage. We left it as a trap crop for the slugs. We've had a lot of slug damage in our garden. It has slowed down. When the plants matured, the slugs don't bother them as much. And then also our hot summer, we've not seen as many slugs in the last week or so as we were seeing at the beginning of the summer. Over here we've got some beets that we planted and turnips. And these are gill feather turnips. They're not as bitter as a regular purple turnip. We really like them. They're sweet, and we use them in stews and things like that. The zinnias have done really well this year. We've got some pretty pinks. A red one down there. But look at that, isn't that just gorgeous? At the end of our garden over here, we've got this giant winter squash. We have harvested one that was getting pretty big. And there's a few more tucked back in there. The kids were telling me they found about 7 of them. So we're excited about those. Those are Oregon sweet meat, and they're our favorite. These purple beans are starting to produce, so we'll pick some of these. They start out slow, but then once they get going, they really produce well. And over here where we've interplanted the pole beans with the tomatoes, you can see there's some set on there. And these will turn green when you cook them. But it's kind of nice when you go to pick because they show up easier. They don't blend into the foliage as much. I'm also going to be topping some of our tomatoes. You can see they're getting taller than I am. And the reason that we top them is just so that they'll concentrate the energy from the plant into the side shoots and into the fruit that's already set on. And when you top them, you want to just pick a side branch and cut right above that side branch. And you don't want to take too much because it'll damage the plant. So a lot of our tomatoes did set on after we had that heat wave and we had the blossom drop. We did get some tomatoes setting on. Probably the best are the Bonnie's Best tomatoes, actually, and you can see them behind me here. This one here is a Brandywine, and then that one is a Bonnie's Best, and it's got a lot of tomatoes on it. And another reason to top the tomatoes is with our short growing season, we're in zone 5 in Idaho. It's hard to get tomatoes to ripen before September, and so I'm hoping that by topping them, we'll get those tomatoes ripe a little faster. In our tomato row, we have the Dr. Weike's Roman Candlestick. That's a yellow paste tomato. And then we have our Early Girl. That's the one we've been harvesting off of. Looks like we need to pick that one before it splits. And then over here we've got Bonnie's Best. And this is a smaller tomato, but I really like the flavor and they seem to produce really well. And here's our Brandywine tomato. It's got these big potato leaves, which is different than most of our tomatoes that we have. And it's a larger variety. You can see that one's gonna be huge. These tomatoes are called Hungarian Oxheart, and they haven't set on a lot of fruit. But what they have set on are these huge oxheart shaped, they're more of a paste tomato. So I was super excited about them, and I was a little disappointed to see that they didn't set on very much fruit. There's a few there. So I may give these another try next year. We've had a really rough summer with the heat wave and everything, and we had a lot of blossom drops, so I think I'll give these another try. Because can you imagine a whole basket full of these huge fruits? That would be pretty awesome. These are a Silets tomato. Those should be getting ripe here pretty soon. You can see they're getting whiter. And then over here we have a Glacier Bay, which is an early cool season variety. And then we have our Jubilee cherry tomatoes, which the kids are just loving. And they set on pretty good, actually. We've got so many sunflowers, it's kind of hard to get around the garden. I let them grow and volunteer in some of the paths. So I've had to remove a few just so we can get around back to the back of our garden. We have harvested the majority of our onions. They fell over like this one. And once they do that, they're not going to get any bigger because they don't have the energy going into the plant. And so we'll probably let these grow a little bit longer and then we'll harvest them when they fall over. And then you want to lay them out so that they will cure and store longer. This is our zucchini. It got planted a little late. I had bad seed the first time, so I had to replant. So I'm not sure it'll have time to come to fruition, but we'll see. And then we've got yellow squash. There's a couple little baby ones in there. So we should get some yellow squash. And this is our little pepper patch back here. We've got some banana peppers. These are shishito. And then we have some bell peppers. These shishito peppers really produce. I'm pleased with how much they're producing. We've been trying to water them and get them a little bigger. And then we have some more bell peppers over here, some California Wonders, and then some purple bell. And these are our eggplant. They did have kind of a rough start, so I don't know that we'll get anything off of those. But you never know, we might get an Indian summer. It's starting to feel like fall now, but it might warm up still. When I started doing garden tours, we weren't sure what this little guy was growing at the side of the path, but we've since determined that it's a wild blackberry and not a thorned raspberry that I thought it might be. But I'll probably get out today and dig that up because they are known to be invasive, so I definitely want to put that in a pot and see how it does. So thanks for joining me today, guys. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more of our videos, and we'll catch you on the next video.